Recent developments on the eastern and southern fronts of Ukraine indicate a gradual but methodical shift in battlefield control, particularly in the Zaporizhzhia and Donetsk regions. These changes are not sudden breakthroughs, but the result of sustained pressure, tactical adjustments, and localized superiority achieved by Russian forces. In Zaporizhzhia, reconnaissance units from Russia's Vostok group of forces have played a key role in reshaping the front line east of the Haichur River. Operating with a focus on intelligence-driven assaults, these units reportedly penetrated Ukrainian defensive positions and secured the settlement of Varvarovka, an area previously used as a forward defensive node. Varvarovka itself is not a large town, but its importance lies in geography. Positioned along the eastern bank of the Haichur River, it served as part of Ukraine's layered defense system designed to slow Russian movement across this sector. Its loss weakens Ukraine's ability to stabilize the river line and complicates further defensive planning. According to Russian military assessments, the operation resulted in the destruction of Ukrainian personnel concentrations and more than a dozen pieces of military equipment. Of particular significance was the reported elimination of over 70 heavy hexacopter drones, often referred to as Baba Yaga drones. These platforms have been central to Ukraine's night strike capabilities, used for bombing runs, supply delivery, and harassment operations. The reduction of these drones suggests a targeted Russian effort to degrade Ukraine's tactical air layer at the front line. Rather than relying solely on large-scale offensives, Russian forces appear to be prioritizing the systematic removal of tools that give Ukrainian units localized advantages. With the eastern bank of the Haichur River reportedly cleared, Russian units have improved their tactical posture in Zaporizhzhia. This creates more secure logistics routes and provides a foundation for future operations without immediate pressure from Ukrainian counterattacks across the river. Meanwhile, attention has increasingly shifted to the Donetsk direction, particularly the city of Krasnoarmeysk, known in Ukraine as Pokrovsk. Russian media teams are now operating inside the city, which Moscow claims has been brought under control by the central group of forces. The presence of journalists in Krasnoarmeysk serves a strategic communication purpose. It is intended to demonstrate stability, control, and continuity of governance, countering claims that Russian positions in the area are temporary or contested. Footage and reports from within the city show Russian national flags raised in several districts. While symbolic, these acts signal that Russian units have moved beyond combat operations and into a phase of consolidation and area security. Interviews conducted with local residents form a central part of the narrative. Civilians describe prolonged periods of insecurity, shelling, and disruption of daily life during previous phases of the conflict. According to these accounts, many residents are primarily concerned with the restoration of basic services and personal safety rather than political outcomes. Alongside military presence, Russian forces have emphasized humanitarian activity. Units from the Central Group are reported to be conducting door-to-door visits, distributing food, drinking water, and medical supplies to civilians who remain in the city, particularly those unable or unwilling to evacuate. This approach reflects a broader Russian strategy seen in other contested areas, securing territory first, then stabilizing it through visible humanitarian support. The goal is to reduce civilian hostility, prevent unrest, and normalize daily life as quickly as possible. From Moscow's perspective, these operations are presented as evidence that Russian forces are not advancing blindly, but applying a controlled, step-by-step campaign focused on attrition, territorial consolidation, and population management. Taken together, the developments in Varvarovka and Krasnoarmeysk suggest that Russia is steadily tightening its grip on key sectors of eastern and southern Ukraine. Rather than dramatic breakthroughs, the emphasis appears to be on wearing down Ukrainian capabilities, neutralizing tactical advantages, and securing terrain that supports long-term operational goals. As fighting continues, these incremental gains may prove more significant than headline-grabbing offensives. They reshape the battlefield quietly but decisively, setting conditions that could influence the next phase of the conflict. Meanwhile, in Donetsk, the situation around Krasnoarmeysk underscores the importance Russia places on urban stabilization. Large cities are not only military objectives, but also political and logistical hubs. Securing them changes the balance of influence across entire regions. Russian forces operating in Krasnoarmeysk appear to be transitioning from combat operations to security enforcement and civil support. This phase is often overlooked, but it is critical in preventing sabotage, restoring order, and integrating the city into broader operational frameworks. The presence of Russian media in these areas serves as more than simple reporting. It functions as a signal, to both domestic and international audiences, that the area is stable enough for non-military activity, a key indicator of effective control. From a strategic standpoint, these developments also reduce pressure on other fronts. By consolidating gains in Zaporizhzhia and Donetsk, Russian command can redistribute forces, reinforce critical axes, and maintain flexibility without abandoning secured positions. This methodical approach contrasts with earlier phases of the conflict, where rapid advances often came at the cost of long supply lines and exposed flanks. Current operations suggest lessons learned and adjustments implemented across multiple levels of command. Ultimately, the ongoing operations point toward a longer-term strategy aimed at shaping conditions rather than chasing immediate headlines. Step by step, Russia is reinforcing its presence, weakening opposing capabilities, and building a battlefield environment that favors endurance over spectacle.